My wife has turned me onto this thing called melanin or something like that. I'm sorry, melatonin. Melatonin, my bad. So would you like new money to come your way? Well, you need new habits. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you 3 daily habits that made me a millionaire. Starting in 3, 2, 1, let's go. What's cracking, everybody? Money Smart Guy Matt Sapaula here, hailing to you from the home office, man. Take a quick gander around. This is the home office here of the Money Smart Casa. Guys, our first house literally was the west side of Chicago when my parents immigrated here from the Philippines. Of course, that means my mother is a nurse, but I'm just humbled and excited and fired up for you to watch this video because these are some of the things that were sprinkled in my life. I was not raised by a millionaire. I was not mentored when I was growing up or had an exposure to a millionaire. I was not given an inheritance or a trust fund. So I'm excited about this. So this is episode 4 of VLOGMAS 2020. We're participating in VLOGMAS 2020, where every day in the month of December, all the way to Christmas Eve, we're sharing with you one thing from our life, our business, things that will hopefully be somewhat entertaining and more importantly, helpful and educational to help you get your money game right, to help you plan for an income strategy for the following year, to get this pandemic behind you, and also making sure that you grow as a person, as a leader in business, as a leader in your family, to allow you the strategies to think like a millionaire, to strategize like a millionaire, so therefore you can become a first generation cash flow millionaire. So let's get started. All right, let's start with number 1. You've got to improve. You got to get better. You got to skill up. You got to increase your knowledge. You got to increase your understanding of your market. And you also have to understand how technology can help you advance quicker, faster, and sooner than a lot of the big behemoths that's in your marketplace that you want to compete in. And so, listen, I came from the military, had 0 business experience, had 0 sales or insurance experience, which is the industry I'm which right now, the insurance industry, had 0 background in all that. And I thought, as many military service members are taught, hey man, as soon as you get out, your GI Bill, get your Illinois Veterans Grant to go to school for free, milk the GI Bill for its money, take advantage of all your benefits. I went against all that, and I decided to improve through the path of entrepreneurship under the help of a mentor. But every day I got up, every day I wanted to get better in a skill set. I want to get better at sales. I want to get better at prospecting. I want to get better in terms of explaining insurance, understanding life insurance, explaining retirement planning, understanding retirement plans. I wanted to get better. And so for a period of time, I did do that. I went to DePaul University. I attended a night school because I was a single dad at the time. I had my folks or a babysitter watch my son at night. After I get done all day working at either Jiffy Lube or getting done working at Olive Garden or getting done working at the YMCA, and I was starting my business, I went to school at night. And I took courses to improve my skill set and knowledge of the financial services industry. But every night I got to a position I'm improving somehow, some way. I'm getting more confident because when your skills are starting to improve, your skills are starting to increase. Guess what happens? Starts to increase, especially when you execute upon those skills, you start to gain your confidence. Now, some of you are saying, Matt, does that mean I got to go also to college for your college degree, master's, PhD? Well, yes, if you are specifically in a specialty that forces you to get that education, more specifically, if you're STEM, if you're in science, you're technology, education, engineering, math, and I'll add L, which is legal. If you're one of those STEM courses that you are in a business in that category, that industry, of course you have to get those designations or get that education. But listen, I'm in an industry where you don't necessarily need that education. And so I wanted to grow a business. I was growing a business inside the insurance industry. I said, okay, if I did the math, if I found out how to make $1, $2, $5, and actually my first few sales, I made $300, $400, $500 selling life insurance. I made $1,000, $2,000 selling retirement plans through either at that time when I was securities licensed, I was selling mutual funds, or we were selling annuities, variable annuities at that time. And so we made money doing that. And I learned other products along the way. I remember when '01 hit, I was exposed to index universal life products. By the way, quick side note, here's a quick video for you to check out if you want to understand how millionaires build wealth using life insurance, which is probably one of the most popular videos I have on my YouTube channel right now. But that's how I increased my knowledge. That's how I increased my skill set. That's how I understand my marketplace. And I realized throughout my marketplace, as I'm starting to improve, that a lot of people didn't know what I knew. I was starting to acquire this knowledge. I was having conversations with CPAs, certified public accountants. I was starting to have conversations with attorneys and lawyers specializing in financial services, specializing in the markets. It wasn't necessarily your law and order type of an attorney. It wasn't like a criminal type of attorney, but it's like more of an estate planning attorney, a wealth building, a technology business type of attorneys. I started rubbing elbows with very wealthy people, people that were established and accomplished. And I started to understand how they used their experience and how they used specialists around them, and understand how technology, like social media, and understanding how software, the things that are used to explain our financial concepts to our customers. I started learning how to use those type of technology, which advanced my delivery of helping a person understand complex financial subjects and make it very simple for the average person to understand. I started improving in all these areas. And those are the things that made me eventually over time 6 figures. And if you make 6 figures, you make 250, make 250, make 500, you make 500, make 750. From there going forward, it's now scale after that. So if one day you want to become a first generation cash flow millionaire, every day you've got to find a way to improve. That means you got to do. Number 2, advance. What do I mean by advance? Well, here's the thing. In business, what you're going to find is there's more complexity than you ever thought you imagined. The path to $1 million increases the complexity than you ever thought you imagined. So you got to not take one big piece, but advance just a little bit. Every day, find a way to advance. Improve. But also, at the same time, when you're doing, you're advancing, you're executing. What am I talking about? You've got setbacks all the time. You thought you were saving $1, you thought you were saving $10, you thought you were saving $100, and boom, emergency hits, next thing it wipes out that savings. You make a sale, you make a sale, you make a sale. Next thing you know, a client charges back or changes their mind, boom, you gotta refund them their money. People come your way because they say, oh, you're starting to make money now, can I borrow $1? Can you spot me on this? Can you spot me on that? That's going to come your way. You have to have a process to address when people come out the woodwork asking money from you. So these are all distractions that keep you from advancing your business, that will fight for your time, will fight for your attention. But you got to stay daily focused on advancing forward in spite of the setbacks. Something sets you back 1, you take 2 more steps. You get a distraction, you fight 10 times harder to stay focused. For example, like the shooting of this video, right before the shooting of the video, believe it or not, a distraction came our way. Believe it or not, but a distraction came right before the shooting of this video. And I told myself, okay, I don't like this. I processed it. Okay, how do I get myself in a frame of mind so I can provide this Vlogmas episode to you? And that's what you got to do. Distractions are going to come your way in your journey towards making $100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $750,000, $1 million. They're going to come your way. Anticipate that. Advance forward in spite of those setbacks and distractions. And one of the best ways to advance forward is focus on the things that make you money. I put here money-making activities. Everything else is either preparation, working on the business versus in it. It's preparation for you to make a sale, preparation for you to make money, but it's not actually doing it. So you got to make sure you do something every day to make money. So therefore your efforts and your money and your relationships and all those things start compounding, which is what I added here too as well. Every day you got to find a way to advance a relationship. In fact, I had a conversation with today of something we're doing in 2021 of how we can really improve and cultivate a lot of our relationships through gift giving. Like I want to find out and cultivate some of the best customers, my best guys. I want to find ways to give them gifts that are thoughtful and meaningful. It's not just your typical bottle of wine, your gift basket. Next year, I have intentionality to advance my relationships as I make more money. I want them to also experience my improvement of gifts too as well, because that's how much I value the relationship I've established with it, that my growth is also their growth. And so you want to find ways to advance forward every day. Keep this in mind. I cannot say that enough. Things are going to come your way to distract you and get you off track. You've got to fight, and you got to fight forward. For example, my guys, our sales force across the country, we boiled it down to 4 things every day you got to do. 4 things every day you got to do to advance your business forward. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes those 4 things, as a salesperson, as a budding and aspiring entrepreneur, it may not be immediately that day. In other words, even if you do those money-making activities as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you may not necessarily make money, net profit that day. Okay? I don't know if that makes sense to you. So in other words, you may have a setback and you still advance forward. And it's not like you have a typical job where it's 9 to 5. Okay, I punched in, punched out, I made money. Business and making millions is not necessarily that way. It's like, okay, setback, but I still advance forward in the money-making activities. Okay, the second I do it again, it still hasn't advanced forward, but I still did the 4 money-making activities. And the next thing you know, boom, a week later, boom, a month later, boom, 90 days later, this whole sludge of money comes your way because you continue to stay focused on things that made you money. And that's probably one of the most confusing things you'll recognize as you put your feet on this journey. You know, when I observe business people, they get so frustrated too soon. They give up too soon. They don't have results that come right away. That's part of business. That's part of entrepreneurship. That's what separates those making $10 an hour, $15, $20, $50 an hour, to those making $200 an hour, to those making $500 an hour, to those making $1,000 an hour. The choice is yours every day to deal with those setbacks, to deal with those distractions. And in spite of all that, you still push forward. You still embrace all that stuff. You say, listen, I'm still going to focus on my money-making activities because these are the things that get you paid. And here's the thing. Money necessarily doesn't solve all your problems, but man, does it sure elevate you above them for a minute. You know, and here's the thing. If you have your money wiring program, so, well, you know, money's not everything. Man, I tell you what, a person that usually says it probably doesn't have much of anything. I tell you this, we've been through a lot of problems. We've been through a lot of setbacks. We've been through a lot of distractions. And we advanced forward in our money-making capacity. And when we elevated financially, and this pandemic came through, and people started getting laid off, and people started getting distracted, we didn't lay off one person. Matter of fact, we created jobs. We started expanding. We started growing. We didn't ask for the PPP loan. We didn't ask for government assistance. We didn't ask for government intervention. We just continue to advance our business forward. Why? Because for years in advance of distractions, in advance of setbacks, we're planning, we're moving forward. We spent those evenings, those weekends to make sure we solidified a solid foundation on our journey towards making millions of dollars a year. So if you want to be a first-generation cash flow millionaire, consider every day, in spite of your circumstances, you find a way to advance. And the last thing I want to share with you in terms of daily habits that made me a millionaire, I want to share this with you over a cigar. Listen, we just came back from Dallas, Texas. We had an amazing strategy session, business planning session with our CEO mentor, Patrick Bet-David, at our corporate home office in Addison, Texas. And would you indulge me, please, in this Vlogmas episode? I'm going to discuss this night before deal point over a cigar. So please join me outside my garage for a cigar. Let's go. So this is a quick peek into how I wind down the night before I start my next day. Is I have to wind down with a cigar. So this is my little humidor, this little thing here. So all my daily cigars here on top. You know, some of my dailies are Avo. I love Avo cigars, Monte Cristos. You know what else I got in here? By the way, for my buddies that come over here, all your cigars here on the right. For all my buddies, hint, by the way, this is for all my buddies that necessarily don't enjoy a good quality cigar, but they want to come in and enjoy a quick cigar experience. In other words, I'm not giving you my good cigar because you smoke for 3, 4, 5 puffs, you put it down, you don't smoke it, and I'm not going to burn a good cigar on your inability to finish a complete cigar. So when you come over to my house, right-hand side, please. Right-hand side. The second area here is my good cigars. This is my celebration cigars. I had a really good day today. I closed the deal, I advanced my business forward. I smoked one of these cigars here. And so these are my Cubans. These are my Opus X. I love this cigar, Opus X Lost Cities. It's one of my favorite cigars there. I'm not smoking a cigar for a while, but this is when we went down to Dallas to celebrate my mentors. Actually, I think it was LA. It was LA or Dallas, but we went to celebrate my mentor's 40th birthday, Patrick Bet-David. This is a cigar from his birthday party. This is one of my favorite cigars too, as well as a Davidoff. Where's all my Cuban fans out there? There's my Cohibas here, my Partagas, my cigars here too as well. One of my new favorite cigars, especially in the celebration mode, is these Byrons. I love these Byron Reservas, delicious stinking cigars. I love these cigars. What else here? The third level of my humidor here is the cigars I'm actually, I don't know if you can take a look down here, but these are cigars I'm actually aging. It's kind of like wine. So down here is my humidor here. It's putting out 70 degrees, 63 degrees, 70% humidity. So it's simulating a tropical environment. But this is where all my cigars here, I got them cracked open a little bit. They're aging. I'm aging my cigars. And just like wine, cigars, the more you age them, the more delicious they get over time. So let's go to my garage and smoke the cigar together as I explain point number 3, the daily habit of the night before. All right, so now that I'm situated and comfortable here in my garage, AKA man cave during the winter. By the way, if you haven't bought it already, purchase your bottle of Uncle Nearest whiskey. This is one of the things that my wife and I and my sister and I, we invested in. Fawn Weaver is the CEO of this liquor company, and a great story behind it, which will come in a future episode. I'm locking up an interview with Fawn Weaver here of the greatest whiskey maker the world never knew. So coming soon to a VLOGMAS episode. So what am I talking about? Point number 3, daily habits that made me a millionaire. Number 3 is the night before. What am I talking about the night before? Well, just because I had a long day, just because my wife had a long day, just because our family had a long day. I mean, we got 5 kids, and when I was building my business, and I was a single father of three kids. But the night before, no matter what, I always had this daily habit of saying, let me do a quick debrief. I took that habit from the military, is after every mission that we did, we always had a debrief, or what they call an after action report. And so it's a combination of the good, the bad, the ugly, what went well, what worked well, what can I do better, what can I improve on. So as a debrief of what you just went through, because sometimes when you're going through it, you're not necessarily seeing all the angles. So it's your journey of whether you're running your business or you're building your enterprise or whatever it is that you're cultivating to be your vehicle to become a first generation cash flow millionaire. You got to do a debrief. Well, at least I did the night before. Consider doing that yourself about what worked well. When my wife and I were dating, we just spent an hour or two just in the garage. She'd be my last appointment. She still is my last appointment every day. And just having a conversation over a cigar. My wife would take the lady cigar. She smokes the acid Cuba Cuba or the acid blonde cigars, women's cigars, but she's since upgraded, especially after having a few cigars with Michael Jordan during the grand opening of his restaurant. But she's upgraded her taste in cigars. And she smokes with me in a cigar, which is kind of like her daily thing. And the night before, we plan out also not only what just happened that day, but we also plan what's going to happen the next day, that the people we got to follow up with, the people that we need to make sure we call, the accounts that we need to establish or reestablish, making sure things don't slip through the cracks. And I don't want to wake up the next day, think about what I'm going to do that day. And part of the hardest part for me to go to do at night after I have my daily habit of the night before is actually going to bed. It's hard for me to go to sleep. I'm like jacked up about my next day, even though I may have had the current day not go well for me. But as soon as I get the debrief, I can basically review my game tape of that day, right? And I see what didn't work, what can work better the next time I do it. I can't wait the next day. I'm like so fired up. One of the hardest things for me to do is to fall asleep. And my wife has turned me onto this thing called melanin or something like that. Melatonin. Melatonin, my bad. And it's allowed me to go to sleep much faster. And the night before, I'm orchestrating. I'm like in my mind, I'm playing out the calls I need to make, the workout. For example, as soon as this video is done, I get done with my night before. I talk to my wife, finish this cigar. But my trainer already knows to meet me in the gym tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock in the morning. Between 6, 6:30, 7 o'clock, depends on what I get back that day. And so I generally get about 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. And that for me, that's good to go. If I'm sleeping in 6 hours, my back starts hurting. But I've just learned to compress a lot into anticipating the night before. Because listen, I'm in the anticipation business. If you want to create wealth, you're in the anticipation business yourself. What I happen to do as a career is an anticipation business. I'm in the insurance business. So we're all about anticipation. So taking that back to becoming a first generation cash flow millionaire is you got to plan, at least I did, to plan the night before. So therefore I'm doing my day the next day because I got my to-do list, my phone calls to make, my projects I'm on top of, and I'm planning out the night before. So consider that habit if you want to walk down the journey of becoming a first generation cash flow millionaire. So that being said, guys, this wraps up this episode. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know your ideas too as well. What are your habits that you're looking to implement? What are some of the feedback that you got from this episode of improving, advancing the night before? What are your thoughts? What is your feedback? If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure you click like, follow our business page, Money Smart Guy. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you click subscribe and hit notification next time we upload our next episode. And I'm fired up for you guys because every day, again, we're doing an episode a day until the 24th, the Christmas Eve, of participating in this thing called VLOGMAS 2020. If you have a future episode of something you want me to break down for you, put it down in the comment section below. However, that being said, I've got a quick giveaway, again, which has been very popular. In order to help you plan for your next moves, I want to give you a book from my mentor, Patrick Bet David, which is a Wall Street Journal best-selling book, #1 best-selling book. And this is a special 9/11 autograph. I got, I'm not sure, I think I got another 50 of these left to go. But I want to give this from me to you, a special autographed book of your next 5 moves, signed by the author, Patrick Bet David, on 9/11. Why 9/11? Because on 9/11, I actually flew down to Dallas and we did a podcast on that day. Actually, 9/11 is my wife's birthday. And I wanted to give this a gift from me to you as a thank you for watching our episodes during VLOGMAS of 2020 by answering this question for this comment contest. You guys ready for this? All right, here's how I want you to answer. Fill in the blank. So answer this question in the comment section below. You guys ready? My new millionaire daily habit is, insert. My new daily millionaire habit is, insert. The best one we'll select, and you're gonna, the top 3 we're gonna select on YouTube and Facebook. And the top 3 that we select, you're gonna get a book from me to you, your next 5 moves from my mentor, CEO of PHP Agency, and host of Valuetainment, Patrick Bet David. With that being said, guys, from my garage here in Chicago, Illinois, I'm your money smart guy. And until we meet again, continue to live smart, continue to love smart, and be money smart today.